Hello everyone, welcome to MS Active Webcast. In this video, we will see the steps on how to enable Azure Active Directory B2B collaboration, designate who can invite guests, and determine the permissions that guest users have in your Azure Active Directory. By default, all native user accounts and guest user accounts in your directory can invite guest users even if they are not assigned to an admin role. External collaboration settings let you turn guest invitation on or off for different types of users in your organization. You can also delegate invitations to individual users by assigning roles that allow them to invite guest users. Azure Active Directory allows you to restrict what external guest users can see in your Azure Active Directory. By default, guest users are set to a limited permission level that blocks them from enumerating users, groups, or other directory resources, but lets them see a membership of non-hidden groups. First, we need to access and log into the Azure Active Directory Admin Center. You can access it using the URL https://aad.portal.azure.com. On Dashboard, under Favorites, click on Azure Active Directory. We are using the user account with global administrator role for this video, and that we can verify here. Under Manage section, click on User Settings. In the last video, I have covered what about these permissions like app registrations, administration portal, and LinkedIn account connection. This time, under External Users, click on Manage External Collaboration Settings link. Using these settings, you can restrict default permissions for guest users. Under Guest User Access Restrictions, choose the level of access you want guest users to have. Guest users have the same access as members option gives guest users the same access to Azure Active Directory resources and directory data as a member users. Second, guest users have limited access to properties and membership of directory object option block guest users from certain directory tasks like enumerating users, groups, or other directory resources. And even if you select this option, guest users can see membership of all known hidden groups. This will be the default setting. And using the last option, guest users can access only their own profile. Guest users are not allowed to see other users' profiles, groups, or group memberships. It's up to your requirement that you want to set permission to most inclusive or most restrictive, or you are going with the default. I'll keep it to default. Guest users have limited access to properties and membership of directory objects. Next, we have Guest Invite Restrictions settings, which control who can invite guest users to our Azure Active Directory to collaborate on resources such as SharePoint or other Azure resources. With first option, anyone in the organization can invite guest users, including existing guest users and other known admin users. To allow member users and users who have specific administrator roles to invite guest users, you can select this radio button. To allow only those users with administrator roles to invite guest users, select this radio button. Required administrator roles are Global Administrator, User Administrator, and Guest Inviter. To deny everyone in the organization from inviting guest users, you can select this radio button. No one in the organization can invite guest users, including admins. Here, I'm going to select only users assigned to specific admin roles can invite guest user option. And this is the third one. Again, I want to remind you that for that, the required administrator roles are Global Administrator, user administrator and guest inviter. Next is enable guest self-service sign-up via user flow settings. Select yes if you want to use user flow that let users sign up for applications. That is completely different topic, so here I'm not going to cover it in this video. I'll create one separate video on it, that how we can enable guest self-service sign-up via user flow. Under collaboration restrictions, you can choose whether to allow or deny invitations to the domains you specify and enter specific domain names in the text boxes. For multiple domains, you need to enter each domain on a new line. See, by default, allow invitation to be sent to any domain option is selected, and that is most inclusive. The second one is to deny invitations to the specified domain, and in that case, you need to select this checkbox, and here you need to specify the target domain name. The last one is about allow invitations only to the specified domain, and that is the most restrictive. In that case, here you need to specify the target domain name. Here I'm not going to change it, so we are going with the default selection, which is allow invitations to be sent to any domain, which is most inclusive permission. After changing the settings as needed, click on Save to save the changes. For that, at the top bar, click on Save. Let's wait for the confirmation message. Successfully updated external collaboration settings. So this is how we can set up Azure Active Directory B2B collaboration settings, designate who can invite guest users, and determine the permission that guest users have in your Azure Active Directory. That concludes the video on how to configure external collaboration settings in Azure Active Directory using Azure Active Directory Admin Center. Thank you all for watching this video. Have a nice day.